KTAR's own Jim Cross. Jim, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks. Good to be here.
Hey, Jim, so you spent 48 hours on the border, and I want you to tell us about that one desperate woman that you encountered.
Ooh.
I have not heard the story yet, neither has Bruce, and we want you to tell it to us because from what we understand, it was something you're never going to forget. Tell us the story.
Yeah, we had just arrived on the border. We'd been there, I don't know, maybe an hour, and we started driving west along the border wall road, and she and a couple of other people came walking out of what is basically a camp down there up toward our truck and just simply wanted to know if we had a baby bottle for her baby.
Oh, God.
We didn't, of course. We encountered other, migrants along the way that wanted to know if we had food and water. Wanted to know if they could get a ride, which obviously you can't do legally. But yeah, the look on her face, and also there were 3 women and a probably 10-year-old boy. The nightfall was starting to happen, and they were walking west. And the people at the camp told us if you see them on the way west, turn them around and tell them to come back. And again, the sun was going down. It was starting to get cool down, but it wasn't horribly cold. But they were walking in search of somewhere with food, and the nearest place would have been Sassabee. And for all intents and purposes, it's nothing but a ghost town. So it would have been a long walk for nothing.
So, Jim, take your reporter cap off. As a human being, you're being asked, do you have a bottle? I mean, what emotions are you thinking and going through right there?
You just feel bad for them because this area is as remote as it gets. There's nothing close to there. I don't know, how she ended up feeding her child, or what happened with that. We weren't carrying baby bottles with us. That I really didn't expect. I mean, I expected, requests for maybe food and water, but the baby bottle thing, kind of came out of nowhere. And this. People along the trail that we saw the migrants, and there were dozens of them. It was men, it was women, pretty much of all ages. There were quite a few children in the mix too.
Jim, what I'm hearing from you is a lot of desperation down there. I mean, is that a fair way to put it? That these people coming across maybe don't have the greatest plan. The plan was just to get to Arizona or get into the United States with a now what plan?
Accurate.
Yeah.
You can see it on their face that I'm sure most of them, because we talked to people that were from, Ecuador, from India, from, other countries. This is about as remote of a place as I've been to in the state of Arizona, and I've been on a lot of fires and stuff.
Yeah.
This is just rugged as it gets. It's middle of nowhere. It's,
and this is you're out there
the smugglers, the cartels bring them up to the border, which has a lot of gaps in many places. The ranch that we took the ride along with Rancher on, that's where the border wall construction ended, but you go west of there and you've got gaps in that wall, so it's not hard at all to get through, and the cartels get them up there, get them across, tell them, Tucson is up over this rugged mountain about 2 or 3, 5 miles, whatever, and Tucson's 60 miles from there.
Right. And
it's bad enough down there right now, the conditions. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in the summertime when it's hot.
Jim, and I just want to get a sense, because, I grew up down there. I spent time in Sassabee, and, yeah, you're absolutely right. It is close to a ghost town as you need to get. But you're out there, you're somewhere between Nogales and Sassabee, right along the border?
Oh, yeah, we went right along. We were west of Nogales, south of the rancher's place about 20 miles. It was the southern tip of his ranch, which, straddles about 5 miles of the border. So we drove that entire stretch along the dirt road, on the U.S. side of the border wall, guessing 15, 20 miles, went into Sassabee, and there's absolutely nothing there.
No.
So I'm not sure after that what the nearest town would be. It's probably nothing much to the west. Probably if they went north,
Arivaca. Yeah, I was going to say there's not a lot out there.
Jim Cross.
You have to go through, this terrible terrain. It's really rocky. It's just covered in mesquite trees. no telling what kind of animals out there people would have to deal with.
All right.
It's a rough area.
Thank you, Jim.
Jim Cross joining us on KTAR 48 Hours on the Border. Hey, Jim, did you bump into more migrants or more Border Patrol agents?
Oh.
More migrants. We did not encounter any Border Patrol agents along the border.
Really?
Once we left the border, got into the Sassabee area, and then got on the highway going back to Arivaca, there were a couple of agents along the roadside. But we did not see any Border Patrol, and as you know, they're spread very thin right now.
That's why I asked the question, yeah. I was actually, I thought that would be the answer. Isn't that amazing? More people, you bumped into more people trying to get in here than people trying to keep them out.
Yeah, like I said, we didn't see any Border Patrol agents on the border itself, on that road. It's hard. There were several dozen, probably migrants that were walking along. But again, several countries, some people probably, there wasn't, like I said, a camp down there. Some people were staying there. I don't know how long they'd been there. Some people had left going out west for the walk. And then, from where they go, I don't know if they keep going west, keep going north, but not the place you want to be, certainly.
Right. Yeah. With a baby looking for baby formula on top of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you ever feel, I'm in a dangerous spot right now?
No, I really didn't. I mean, I was down there with a rancher. I mean, it got your attention when we pulled up, and I said, because he's, concerned about the cartels, obviously, and the cartel scouts.
Yeah.
Which are well equipped with sat phones and everything else and weapons. And I said, are there any scouts around? He goes, oh, yeah, they're probably watching us right now. I mean, I didn't see any, but he was pretty convinced, and he knows that area way better than I do. That's basically his backyard. That's his ranch. And he was convinced there were at least, some that were kind of keeping a very close eye on us.
Amazing stories, Jim. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for the work you did down there along the border. 48 Hours on the Border. It's a series, and we have our reporters in conjunction with ABC 15s and others gathering these stories from down there. Pretty amazing stuff.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you.
Outstanding.
The Hall of Famer, Jim Cross, our senior reporter, 48 Hours on the Border. He was mentioning a rancher that he spoke to. We will speak to the rancher tomorrow at 5:05.
Okay.
And he has had dozens of migrants die on his property.
Oh, again, if you've been down there in that area, it is desolate. I mean, it's like a movie scene when they're out in the middle of the desert somewhere. That's what it all looks like.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gatos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.